Hi everyone, I'm here now to talk to you about the degree plan assignment. This is one of the most exciting parts of our class, where you get to plan the classes you're going to take. And certainly, if there's something that doesn't align with your personal experience, just reach out to me and I can help you through it. So, this video goes through the instructions for the assignment and talks to you about a sample degree plan that someone has done. I've taken out all the personal information to keep the person's privacy. So this will help you lay out and justify your degree plan, which is your plan of study in interdisciplinary studies. This will help you see the overall picture of your academic path, and this will highlight and explain connections to those intellectual, professional interests and goals that we've been looking at. This last section of the class has helped you to look at interests of yours through the integrative process assignment, and all of this last section of the class is about you. So you're going to use the following template. What you'll want to do is to just save it as a copy in Word or Google Docs or whatever. And you are going to use either the model for BIS majors or the one for non-BIS majors. And so you're going to choose whichever one is right for you. After you have written your outline, you're going to write a conclusion that summarizes your degree plan in relation to your intellectual, academic, and/or professional interests and goals. Ideally, this will be a pretty painless process because once you've already written about all these classes you want to take, you've already been thinking about what you want to do, that conclusion should just flow right out of you. If it doesn't, if you're struggling, reach out to me and I can help. So here you go. So here's your BIS degree plan. It should specify a degree theme that reflects a complex problem. Let's say you want to work on, sports nutrition, and you're majoring in kinesiology, you're majoring in nutrition, but you are also taking classes in nursing because you want to work at a hospital that works with physical therapy and nutrition. Okay, it's not exact, but you know what I mean. So you're going to take two different disciplines, and these are usually the departments where you'll be taking classes. So let's say, for example, let's say you want to take classes in biology and nursing. Let's say that's what you want to do. You will find at least 3 upper level courses from the department's website or course catalog. So you can look at those places on the West Georgia website or in the course catalog, which is also available online. You can just Google West Georgia course catalog and you'll get it. Under each one, you're going to explain your interest in it. What do you hope to learn? What do you hope to get out of this class? Including references to your degree theme. And you're going to do the same thing for the next discipline. At least 3 upper level courses, that's 3,000 or 4,000 level courses. And you're going to explain your interest in them. What do you hope to learn? How is this reflecting your degree theme? Then what you're going to do is you're going to say to yourself, well, what if I have to take something else before I take these classes? What are the prerequisites? This is the kind of research a lot of students should be doing, but sometimes they don't. What's great about the BIS is that you're going to be doing that. So look at the prerequisites and you see those listed wherever the classes are listed. You look at the prerequisites for discipline number 2, you write those down too. And this way you'll have it all handy. If there's a third discipline, then you can list that as well. Then what you'll do is you'll sit down and you'll think to yourself, okay, wow, what if I take all this stuff? What's a complex problem I really want to start to solve? You're going to describe a project that showcases your skills and knowledge in a paragraph. So 100 to 200 words, it doesn't have to be super long. Let's say you do want to do sports nutrition, and let's say what you want to do is to produce some documents that help elite athletes during, their downtime. So maybe, someone else is really good at performance nutrition. You want to research recovery nutrition. And that's the kind of project you'd like to do. You don't have to do that project right now, but you can say how much you'd like to do it and the kind of work you would do. A lot of what we do in this assignment is work about work, but then that makes the work easier when you actually sit down to do it. If you would like to attain a minor or take any specific elective courses, you will also want to put those here. Again, I'm not going to sit and count the number of electives you write down, but these are for you. This is absolutely an important thing for you to do. Write a paragraph or two then that summarizes this degree plan that you've made in relation to your goals, your intellectual, academic, professional interests and goals. Then what you're going to do, let's say you're not a BIS major. You're doing things that are interdisciplinary, but let's say you have a major and a minor. That's totally fine. However, you'll want to have a degree theme. Like, for example, I have a degree, a PhD in 18th century literature. That's from an English major, but I took classes in other disciplines that supported that interest. So, in this case, if there's a particular kind of, let's say, early American history that you want to study, which is interdisciplinary in its own way, you'll say, I want to research early American history. So your major courses would be history classes that are relevant to that. But then supporting major or minor courses, are all over the place. Let's say you want to learn the literature of early America. Let's say you want to study what was going on in other countries in the world in that period. Let's say you want to study anthropology and understand some of the earlier civilizations in early Americas. There's a lot of different work that you can do. And be able to have an interdisciplinary major, even with something as seemingly straightforward as history. And you'll want to explain why you want to take these courses. List the prerequisites for any of the courses for your major or any of the other ones that you want to take. And then think about a capstone you might like to do. You're not going to be held to this. Nobody's going to show up at your house and say that your capstone didn't align what you did in XIDS 2000, but it certainly helps to think about it. And so finally, as with the BIS degree, you're going to write a conclusion that summarizes your degree plan in relation to your goals. So that's pretty straightforward. And I'm happy to help with anything that seems like it might be confusing. So this is a sample degree plan, and I will upload this as well for someone who has an interest in computer science, art, and design. So as we know, somebody who works toward a computer science degree might be seen as someone who would want to code or do programming or do, other kinds of development on that end. But if what you want to do is art and design, let's say you want to design video games or something like that, you're going to need a different skill set. So what this person did was to look at some of the different classes that you could take in computer science and art that would help. So they decided software engineering, and then what they included there were their reasons for taking software engineering, systems architecture, data structures, cloud computing. You'll notice that these are all upper division classes. This person decided that they wanted to do a capstone and an internship, which makes sense because those classes allow for a lot more freedom for someone who wants to do an interdisciplinary project. And then for art, they chose graphic design, which is an obvious choice if that's something, first of all, it's a more computer related kind of art. So it would bridge those skills together. And then design too, because obviously they would want to continue to build skills. And then they also listed sculpture, which I thought was a great idea because sculpture includes 3D thinking. And if you are doing some kind of complex virtual design, you need to think about the world in multiple dimensions, and you need to think about art in multiple dimensions. So taking a sculpture class would be a way to use maybe a more traditional art class in order to build your graphics skill set. So you see here, prerequisites, here's what I would want to do to, pass CS 1302. I need to be a senior to do a capstone. And then for the internship, I need to complete 1311, 3151, or 3201. Prerequisites for art: Sculpture 2 requires Sculpture 1 with a C or better. In order to get the 3D design class, I would have to pass design with a C or better. So if you really wanted to take Sculpture 2, you couldn't just sign up for this class. You would have to take Sculpture 1. So that's actually 2 classes that you would be taking. And so here, obviously, this would sound personal if I were to just include somebody else's, but the type of capstone project I would like to do is, and then think about what you might like to do. I'm not gonna again, come over to your house, but imagine, think creatively, think of the kinds of things you care about. And then finally, creating this degree plan helped me see, and then what else what did you learn from doing this exercise and this kind of thinking? Just to kind of conclude, I'll give myself as an example. When I wanted to study 18th century literature, I took, classes in literature, all different, countries and different things with different scholars who had different expertise. Those were all in an English department. But I also took history classes in that same time period. And I also took an 18th century French literature class where I learned what kinds of literature was being written, published about in France at that time. So you can see how doing interdisciplinary work requires that kind of creative thinking about, well, what is out there at West Georgia in this case that would help me? So hopefully my tour through this assignment has helped you to see how to work on your degree plan, and please reach out to me with any questions. Thank you.